Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Is that how that works? I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. It's a school, Shion. I thought I'd experience a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine. Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. That sounds great. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. Chinese food! Hilarious! At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. Oh, is this Beardy from Chapter 2 that we saw for like one part and he had a sprite?
Shion-san.
The driver was a man of early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled.
シャバの空気は久しぶり。とにかく今は銀シャリが食いたいかな。
学園では上品なお料理ばかりが出てると聞いてましたが。
Not burgers.
シオンさんにだけは麦飯が出ていたんですか。
I want to go to Burger King. Actually, no, I don't want to go to Burger King. I want to go to a place that has real burgers. Good burgers. We're going to hamburgers.
バカ、そんなわけないでしょ。冗談に決まってるじゃない。ほら、笑ってる暇があったらとっととアクセルを吹かす。
はいはい、仰せのままに。
Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. Wait. This is from chapters 1 through 4. I recognize this psalm. This is from chapters 1 through 4, isn't it? Smash Burger! I have never been to Smash Burger. I want to go, though. But we don't have any Smash Burgers where I am. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. Haha! I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. Mio or Shion, don't get fat. If you get fat, you lose the one thing you got going for you. I guarantee people are going to be, that's mean, Artie. Yeah, but Shion kind of sucks, alright? I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Haha! I'm going to work at Hooters as a rebellion! Serves you right! As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and a few streetlights. This was not part of the OG soundtrack? Really? Maybe this just sounds like something from the old soundtrack. But it really sounds familiar. Okay, I guess the soundtracks are just the same. I don't know why the mod gives me an alternate soundtrack if they're both the same. It'll probably be a couple songs are different. This is the countryside of Japan, not Europe.
お腹は空いてないですか。どこか飯の食えるところへ寄りましょうか。
We're going to Hungry Howie's for some gourmet pizza.
食事してるからいい。
I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory.
この時間ですから、高速に上がってしまうとサービスエリアへ寄っても自販機しかないですよ。まあ最近はハンバーガーとかの自販機もありますけどね。そうそう、聞いた話では最近じゃおでんの自販機もあるって話です。
In Japan, you can get a hamburger out of a vending machine in the 80s?
はあ？何それ？コーヒーの自動販売機みたいに器がポロッと出てきて押したボタンの具がボトボトっと落ちてくるわけ？
C3, just like a hamburger comes out. There's no way that's gonna be fresh.
気持ち悪い。
そういうのじゃないらしいですよ。おでんの缶詰になってるそうで。
Oh, it's hamburger helper. That's just hamburger helper. That's not actually hamburger.
あ、ごめん。缶詰はパス。
缶詰。あ、もう子供じゃないでしょうに。
Look, food out of a can's not great, but if you get canned food and, like, just use it as an ingredient in something else and cook it, it's fine. But, like, eating food right out of a can, that's not great. You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but it's not fantastic. They'll probably just go to a 7-Eleven and get a hot chicken kirage. I don't know what that is. What version did I play back in Chapter 1? The new soundtrack put in this track in Chapter 1 through 3? Okay. Cool, I'm not crazy, yeah. Keep in mind, I've installed the 07th mod for all of the chapters I've played, so that gives me options for, like, a bunch of different soundtracks, and I do try switching between them to get the different songs.
嫌なもんは嫌なの。うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私は疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これ、リクライニングどうやって倒すの？
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。レバーみたいなのがありませんか？
うん、あったあった。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私した？
いえいえ、よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いがどことなくミオンさんに似ておられたもので。
Well, obviously, Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way.
お姉は元気？
多分元気かと。
You believe?
私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだったね。
Yeah, that's kind of weird. She lives at the grandma's house in, like, I almost said in Higurashi, in Hinamizawa, but her parents live somewhere else.
ひなみ沢の鬼ババのとこだって。
The hag? That's not a nice thing to call Oreo, even if she's not the best
シオ
person.
ンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に園崎本家に移られました。
I responded with disinterest, even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house where Oreo, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. But when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to as the same thing.
少しは変わった？
ミオンさんがですか？
そう。あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ少しは変わるでしょ。
She's no nonsense and will kill people now. Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
私はどう？私は変わった？
いいえ、全然。
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him, and then he burst out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。
So where was Shion in Chapter 1? That's what I want to know.
あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに全く変わらないというのは驚くに値します。
I love how every person with a car has the exact same car. Definitely not because of background sprite limitations.
好きなだけ笑ってろ。
She'll only kill you if you talk to a cop or not give her a doll. That's not a good reason to kill somebody.
私は寝るよ。寝る。
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
Totally.
はい、さっきからもう3回目です。それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたは喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと眠気も引っ込んじゃう。
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
What is this guy's relationship to Shion? This is interesting. You miss sleeping in cars during long rides as childhood nostalgia? Yeah, I mean, back when you were a kid and you're like in the back of your parents' car and you fall asleep, like, you could do that. You just trust your parents completely to just get you home, get you in bed. It's honestly an amazing feeling. It sounds like she was just in Okinomiya the whole time, hence why she isn't in Chapter 1. Then why didn't anybody make any kind of mention that she exists? You'd think that would have come up at some point. Having a twin is like a pretty big deal. There's no way Keiji wouldn't have known about it. That's... This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okinomiya. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protests back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'll never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would go off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. Well, that's a problem! It was a war. I guess this Kasai is a YAKUZA guy and is hired to care for Shion since everyone else is with Mion. Was he still on payroll even when she was at, like, the nunnery? That seems a little strange. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in a protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the riot police with everybody. See? This... Rapscallion! We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members, even though they were strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart. This is her happy memory. She's like, I remember when I was a criminal when I was a kid. Those were my favorite times. Not the times at the Catholic school with the good food. Wow. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everybody carry a sacred palanquin through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together. Until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement with cheers of unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. It didn't feel any different, though, than when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the dam project. Stupid spider. The other villagers were furious about it, but for those of us who were kids at the time, it was a pretty fun memory. She is messed up. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only for the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it's said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson. Oh, they definitely did. In order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagauchi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They'd do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Good? The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have been run over a bump or something. Or something! Yeah, definitely not a person. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. Ah. I must be looking forward to going home.
Shion-san?
I like the new setting here.
起きてますか?
何?
お帰りですが、Okinomiyaでよろしいですよね?
I want to go to Smash Burger.
他にどこに帰んのよ?
I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は、園崎本家当主が下したものです。
Saint Lucia? Wait, Santa Lucia? Like, like the Swedish saint? The one mentioned in Arthur's Perfect Christmas?
シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
Dang, she went to Swedish Saint Lucia Academy? Dang.
ばあさんの決めた学校が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ?
シオンさん。
わってるって。さいな。
As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. What? Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion had a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify that she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Thinking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. Jeez Louise. Really? You don't just go off of, hey, this one was born first. They're the eldest, they're inheriting the thing? Really? That's disgusting. Unbelievable, isn't it? No, I believe it. It's just disgusting. What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. Jeez, Grandma sucks. Maybe Grandma will die. That would be alright. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. Yeah, I knew they would twin swap all the time. One day, they created an undeniable, clear distinction between Mion and Shion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and learn how to become the successor. And I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objections to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So, I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okinomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okinomiya where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much. And I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okinomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
Oh no.
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってことまあそりゃやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーに、Kasai。
Kasai, not Kasei.
あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさか。そんなことは言いませんよ。
We're going to New York.
私が言いたいのは
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
まあそうだろうね。
Yeah, you gotta pay the Shion walking tax, obviously.
万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをした葛西も責任は免れないだろうしね。葛西も小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方
What
が
the
いいんじゃない？
heck? This is insane. I don't like their family at all.
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼が口沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。
Don't joke about that. They might actually do it.
ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘
He
密で
speaks
あ
about
る
this
か
so casually. They just know they have a torture room. Normal people don't have a torture room. I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. You heard? Didn't you live there at one point? I've never seen it, though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, really. Yeah, but you did that to everybody in Chapter 2. Don't try to blame it on Mion. I still believe it was you. That's common in the Yakuza. They remove fingers. That's messed up. But also, it's the Yakuza, so that goes without saying. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place.
はいはい。 ま、なんとかなるって。
We talk about the torture room, then we get the happy French music. Alright.
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
You met a Yakuza guy in Japan who was missing a finger and he was chill about it? I mean, okay.
そりゃ似るでしょ。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. Well, yeah, your dad's Yakuza. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza, see? He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. That's not a funny line, but when I read that, I immediately thought of a hilarious post my sister had at one point, where it was like an image with like the text like, I don't care what anybody says, I'm very proud of the scars I've collected, and it cuts to like a couch that has like 50 plushies of Scar from the Lion King on it. So when I heard that he has lots of scars, I've just pictured he collects Scar plushies. I'm weird, I know. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka a drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. Maybe butler from Artemis Fowl. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle, though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. There he is! Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, ah, you. Look at that guy. Oh, he's so cool looking. Okay, he looks a little bit less cool in the original art style. What even is that tie? He should get his money back on that tie. Oh. He looks less intimidating in the console art style. He's not as wide. That's a better tie, though. Oh, man, he looks so good. He has the skull tie. He looks so cool in the console. Again, I wish there was a way to mix and match the console and the Steam art styles. Because there's some characters that look way better in the console art style and some that look way better in the Steam art style. I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. It kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. In my opinion, gorgeous shoulders. He's pretty boss, and honestly, they say he's like past middle age, and so he looks amazing for not being middle aged. I also like how he's wearing sunglasses in the dead of night. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. Tomitake is still cuter though. Tomitake is also a bit younger, and well, I don't want to say he's more ripped, but you know. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. They weren't monitoring the phone lines at St. Lucia? Alright. Huh. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okinomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the swamp for real, too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm going to Okinomiya and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be a kind of homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです。園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
まあ、最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。仮に姿を見られたって、ミオンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
Oh, that's how you gonna do it.
それから
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら、私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。
Are they gonna be Mion? Why are you in Okinomiya when you're supposed to be learning with Oreo in Higurashi? Not Higurashi, Hinamizawa! Doggone it!
私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。私も親父と大喧嘩した時、あちこちでいろんな人にかくまってもらったし。
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって
そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。
Yeah, the Satanists. I mean, what?
あれは私をやたらと嫌った鬼ババの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし、葛西もそう思うでしょ？
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
鬼ババはとっくに更年期障害で正常な思考なんかできなくなった。
Oh, is that where you're going with Shion?
あのダム戦争の興奮で頭がいかれちゃって、まだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。ったく。
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. As I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway, Kasai spoke to me again.
シオンさん、ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Hooters, now hiring. That's it! Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishibone City. My hometown is coming right up." Chapter 5, Mekashi. Like the piano. Shion Sonozaki. Why does she get to be the main character? Keiichi Maibara, Rena Ryugu, Mion Sonozaki, Sotoko Hojo, and Rika Furude. We've also got Satoshi Hojo, Kurauda Oishi, Jiro Tomatake, Mio Tagano, Iri, aka Coach, Kasai, the teacher, and I couldn't read the last one. Darn it. This is giving me slight Undertale vibes. And I mean that in a good way. Undertale had a 10 out of 10 soundtrack. New tips unlocked! The notebook's beginning. Cool. Shion is the main character of this arc. Already missing Keiichi's dumb... I don't mind not having Keiichi as the main character, but if I had to pick one of the other characters to have as the main character, I think Shion would be my bottom choice. Or maybe Satoko. Alright, let's view the new tips. This is a weird song to have for the tips. Well, the tips always had a weird song, to be fair. Yeah, this is a weird tips music. Please let the animation finish and or close the menu. Excuse me? I want to hear what the other song is here. Oh, I didn't like that. I guess we're looking at the tip. June, 1982. Oh, what is that music? Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watanagashi festival. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hasn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun has been living in dire circumstances. Why are we getting the new Super Mario Bros. Bop noise in this song? Bop, bop. This is the U psalm tune right here? Okay, I know it's not supposed to be. It sounds like the new Super Mario Bros. Boss sound. It's ridiculous. And I bet you there's like a meme video somewhere that takes this song and replaces all of the da-da-das with Woody going bah! If not, that's gonna happen. His close friends actually heard him imply that he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering that aspect. But the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. Or the police got the wrong guy. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that the Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose? Satoshi did the Keiji thing, but you have no idea how he poofed away. I guarantee you Tomatake is going to die. I pretty much guarantee it. The boss, but sung by the occultist. The Yusoln is from the tips menu, not from here. Okay. The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the 3 families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it? How did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. All are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so that the tips of my fingers... I was trying to get to the end of the sentence without having to do that. They can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve a mystery. I think it is Shion writing, probably. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Yeah, sure sounds like it. So this is the Yusoln that's like the theme of the franchise? Presumably this is not the actual song. Do 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 do. Okay, I guess I can see that. The overall melody could be good. Alright, let's continue.